Welcome to the RePsychled podcast, where we discuss everyday issues from a mental health perspective. We are your hosts, Dr. Rashonda Strickland,
Dr. LaFanya Jones-Hines,
and Dr. Nichelle Wall. Now, don't get it twisted. We're not going to be your stereotypical therapist.
What we will be is informative, down to earth, a little spicy, and vulnerable.
All right, interns, turn up your volume, grab your pen and paper. It's supervision time. As a reminder, this podcast is not meant to take the place of a relationship with a licensed mental health professional.
Hey, interns, how are y'all doing?
Excited!
Hey, we're back.
Y'all, it has been a lot.
A labor of love.
Man,
Jesus. It feels like we haven't done a live in like a year.
That's what it feels like.
Has it been?
it ain't been a year. It's been a little bit,
Okay.
but yeah.
Okay, because I was about to say, man, hold up. I'm going to come through. For all the Houston folk out there, I'm coming down.
Yeah, y'all, we're going to start with why we have been missing for
That
so
part.
long.
Yeah.
Because it was not our fault this time. We legitimately were preparing a huge reboot. And then somebody on the Red Button app took us out.
They gave us one of these.
We were in jail.
Actually, we got two of these.
Yeah, we got two of those because they said we was being too spicy. If you heard the intro,
you know we a little spicy.
they said we was being too spicy this time.
But legitimately, it wasn't the content. It was a link. It was two links in a year old or more than a year old session. And they said it was inappropriate content, even though it was educational.
Yeah. They spun the block on us for real.
For real.
Yeah.
I was quite surprised though. I was like, oh, so it don't even matter if the content of the video was educational. The fact that we had a link to something else that was still educational and purposeful. We wasn't just putting stuff out there just to be putting it out there. And we still got striked.
Yeah.
Which I find ridiculous.
Yep. Yeah. So if y'all know anything about the Red Button app, you know that you can only have so many strikes or copyright infringements or whatever things before they will completely remove your page, delete everything. So we had to take a pause on every single thing that they sat us down. And then we appealed all of those things, and they forgot to tell us that we was not on strike because they agreed with the appeal. So we had a whole 2 months go by before anything was notified.
Yeah. So then when we finally was like, oh, so we free? They gave us free. We was like, okay, so we really got to get this thing going because now we like super behind and we were ready. Like, you know, like Dr. Wall said, we had a whole thing planned. We were ready. Like this whole season, we like, oh, we about to really get, rip me out the plastic. We was about to act brand new for real. And
we were gonna unbox.
They put us back in the package and said,
unbox us.
They said you not ripe yet.
You're not ready yet.
Yeah.
Like the Cheez-Its commercial. Is that Cheez-Its?
I don't know.
The block of cheese? I don't know. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
But now that we are here again and we are ready, we do have a new kind of method to the madness that we're going to be kind of exploring over this next year to see how we like some things and, bring some new series to y'all, because we love doing movie mental breakdown. Y'all know, if you've been following the podcast, you know that like that's my shit right there. So I love those, but we're going to try to add some other things, do some more lives.
Yes.
So that we can really kind of bring this community vibe and peace together. So y'all going to be seeing our faces,
a lot
more.
Yeah. Yes. Well, y'all been asking for it anyway. Because y'all been wanting to see us more. So we're gonna go ahead and give y'all what you've been asking for.
Yes. And because of that, we have made the executive decision, even though this is more work on our parts, that we are going to be going live of course, today.
Mhm.
Also, next week for an MMB,
Mhm.
the movie is The Reading. We're going to go ahead and get all of this housekeeping out the way.
Mhm.
And then going forward, every third Wednesday, you will get a live. The live will be over whatever we are discussing that month, and then you'll get your true disc broad still on the 5th Wednesday. So we listening, we hear you, and we gonna make up for the red button app doing what they did.
Yes. We want to say thank you to Jackie in TikTok land. She said congratulations to us.
Oh,
on
thank
some of the things that we
you.
got going on. So thank you, Jackie.
Yes.
Okay, so
I'm gonna just go through because I've already posted everybody's comments so far, but we want to send a huge shout out to my boo.
hey, hey, hey,
Dante
Mr.
Wade.
Woolman.
We want to shout out my mama, Tara Wall. We want to shout out Papa Pina and Mama Pina, which is this person's parents.
Yay.
So as y'all come in, of course, we'll be reading the comments as things come in. Also to one of my second moms, Miss Tony Harris. Shout out to her.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome, 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 everyone.
And thank you for visiting our site.
Yes, yes. So as y'all know, for those that have been rocking with us for a minute, July is always special for us because number one, it is Dr. Jones Hines' birthday month.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Now, y'all know I can't sing, so y'all don't have to. That's all y'all getting.
Yes. So it is her birthday month. Typically, we started off with the birthday month, but stuff was happening. So y'all gonna get it now. And then it is also our 3rd anniversary birthday for the podcast. So we are officially 3 years old. Can y'all believe it?
We're toddlers, y'all.
Yes.
We're in the three-nager phase. That means we're about to act bad. Look, if y'all ever been around a 3-year-old, you know how they all of a sudden they go from terrible twos to three-nagers. So we about to be three-nagers out here.
Yeah. And so for all of our new followers, whether you are a Strickland follower, or if you are a wallflower, or if you are coming from the lovely pages of Dr. Jones Hines, we want to let you guys know that we are a weekly mental health podcast that focuses on the issues in the Black and Brown communities so that we can bring awareness and make it feel more palatable and also be real because that's what we like.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's one of the main things and one of the nearest and dearest pieces to our heart, and we hope that that shines through, especially because in the TikTok world, we have so many new individuals that are being exposed to us. They probably been on maybe the last live we did where we were looking extra fine in our Wakanda Forever vibe, but you know, we definitely want to make sure that we are being more consistent in showing you guys us and what mental health from people like us looks like.
Yeah, and I think we also want to make sure you all know that we're here. You know, there's a lot. There are not that many of people of color in this field, in the mental health field,
At
but
all.
we want to make sure, right? We want to make sure you all know that there are some of us that's here, and if we've always said that if you need help trying to find someone, we usually put the psychologytoday.com in our description so that you all can know where to find someone, because you just only thing you have to do is put your zip code in and kind of filter it out, and it'll spit out some therapists in your area.
Yeah. So we will not be having any giveaways because we just here. Y'all gonna just get us. And we just want to be raw and unfiltered as we typically are.
And I want to add in, because usually we give each other birthday gifts on on these lives for our birthdays, but my birthday was July 2nd, so I've already gotten my gift. So don't think that they have slighted me. They did give me my gifts.
Yes. And we've been blessing each other for our podcast birthday. So we
Yes.
not even
Mm-hmm.
y'all getting us, okay?
Yes.
But we do have a libation.
Oh yeah, we have to have
Yes,
that.
all the time.
Okay.
What we got? What we got this time? What flavor?
So we always, when it is a birthday month, we try to go with the color of the person who birthday it is. And this was the only purple one in the store today. So we got the Stella Rosa Stella Berry. Okay. This
Ooh,
is
We
one of
like
the
Stella
ones
Berry.
that she like. Now
We've
when
had-
it come my
Mhm.
birthday,
Oh, yeah?
don't get
Okay.
the green one. I don't want that.
You don't like no, the green apple is not good. Stella Rosa, I need y'all to go back and revamp that
Uh-oh.
formula.
I've never had that.
Mm-mm,
The
Don't
green
try
one.
it.
it's
Okay.
not good.
Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Okay.
We are glad we're back too.
So let me get this poured and then we are going to jump into our different topics. If y'all have any questions, feel free to put them
Absolutely.
in any of the chat boxes, not the description boxes, but the chat boxes, whether you're on TikTok, whether you're on
Mhm.
Facebook, whether you're on YouTube.
Comment, share, and like our, video.
Yeah,
Subscribe,
And yes, and subscribe.
follow.
all the things. And remember, you don't get access to 3 mental health professionals for free
Oh yeah.
that often.
Mm-hmm.
So if you got questions, we got answers. Maybe.
Don't be inappropriate because I do block and delete people.
Yes. But again, you don't get these kind of access regularly.
So ask away. Add your input away.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, so y'all, we're going to start out a little light
Mhm.
at first because we don't want to rush in to the mess that is happening in the world. But it is going to be a little heavy
Mhm.
each topic. So our first topic that we're going to discuss is the fact that they haven't really ever closed it, but I'm gonna say it like this, that they are reopening the investigation of
Mhm.
Tupac, the beautiful Tupac
I
Shakur.
was just telling Dr. Jones
Mhm.
Hines
So we saw a video.
About Tupac. But before you dive into that, we do have a question
Oh, we got a
on
question.
TikTok. Do you guys welcome holistic help for mental health?
Oh yes.
Absolutely.
We sure do.
Yes, we do.
Absolutely.
We do. Now, what I will say, because we like to be honest on our podcast as well as with our clients, is that none of us are herbalists or trained herbalists. But we do like to lean into the holistic side before we jump into a lot of man-made medications and things like that. But we also don't shy away from that because sometimes you're gonna need a little pill to regulate you so you can deal with your stuff and then possibly no longer use that medication. But we believe in using everything that is within our resources, everything that is healthy for us, and that is different for each person.
Absolutely.
And we also don't mind referring you to someone. If
Mhm.
we're not a specialist in that, we will refer you to someone who we believe will benefit you better than what we
Mhm.
could do in
Yes.
that area.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because one, it is also not our place to tell you that, whatever you need for yourself as an assistant to what we're doing is wrong. Again, provided that it's not something that's going to harm you. We want to be able to use whatever resources that are going to make your healing and transformation journey as full and beautiful as possible, because some of the things that people come to see us for are going to be very difficult, traumatic, and we need as much help as we can get because we are only one individual. So if we can use whatever other resources that are at our disposal, we definitely want to be able to do that.
Most definitely.
Yeah. Something I tell my clients all the time is, who got time to struggle?
Right.
I'm gonna use
Not I said the cat.
everything I
Mhm.
got, and I'm gonna show up for my clients. But you got to make sure you show up for yourself too, and that's something that we definitely promote in our individual therapy sessions that we have as well as on the podcast.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Thank you for that question.
Yes, we appreciate it. So getting back into Tupac. So in case y'all don't know that they have decided to reopen some investigations into the homicide of Tupac Shakur, and they have gotten permission to actually go into a home and look at some things that somebody might have. And I know this is long time coming and it's overdue, but for a lot of us who are hip hop heads and into that, we want to see things handled properly, whether you are a conspiracy realist theorist or not.
Mm-hmm.
We still want to make sure that justice is due.
Absolutely. I think, I was just talking with Dr. Jones Hines earlier about this, and I was like, when he died, I was, early teenage
Mm-hmm.
years. And to think, it's hard to think like now, considering the age that we are, it's like, oh my gosh, like I didn't realize that so many years had gone by, and that, it's one of those kind of out of sight, out of mind things. And to
Mm-hmm.
kind of hear this resurgence, it does make you kind of throw back to that time, like it really was a big deal,
Yeah.
Mhm.
for that era. And it kind of, what's what I'm looking for, like leaves an impression
Yeah.
on you.
That was a struggle. I
Yeah.
I remember literally being at Jefferson Middle School and I was just like, oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Because you had Tupac, then you had Biggie. Those were some of like the bigger deaths that had happened in that way that we were aware of versus just like somebody like a plane crash or
Mm-hmm.
natural causes or something like that. And it kind of shook me because it made me deal with my own mortality
Mm-hmm.
in a different way.
Yeah, I think the idea that, Tupac died and it was unresolved, like there was no closure.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the sad thing because he was important to the community.
Yeah.
His music was important to the community. He made a difference in the community, and it was almost just like his case was almost just like pushed to the side, or at least it felt
Mm-hmm.
like it
Mm-hmm.
was just pushed to the side. Maybe they still have been investigating and we just didn't hear about it anymore, but it still just felt like his case was just pushed to the side, and it was unfortunate because he was such a big part of the Black community and the music industry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So to hear that they're opening his case again, or I guess making it,
Actively
yeah,
investigating.
actively investigating again. I mean, it's bittersweet because it's like,
Yeah.
why wasn't this solved in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then his mom has passed and his
Yeah.
stepfather recently passed. So it's just kind of like, ugh.
So the people that would have benefited, I mean, yeah, his fans do get
Yeah.
benefit from his case being closed, but his mom, she
Yeah.
she didn't get an opportunity to see um the case get solved.
Yeah.
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 But
I agree. Everybody right now, put your favorite Tupac song in the chat. Let us know what's y'all's favorite Tupac. I don't have a favorite. I like too many of them.
I like a
Uh,
lot of them, but Brenda's Got a Baby was up there.
Brenda's got a baby.
I have a lot of them too, but Toss It Up is
Ooh, that's a good
that's
one.
my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
It got a little something something in there.
I don't got no favorite, y'all. I really like the majority.
Mhm.
I'll be like,
Yeah, I was like, I like
Yeah, I
mm.
like
a lot,
I like a lot of them.
but I could listen to that one like on repeat if I needed to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
And
think
and he was just coming into his own.
he was so young. I think I forget that, in my mind, it's almost as he aged as, even though literally he didn't, but it's almost in my mind as like
He
he
growing with
aged
it.
as we aged.
Yeah.
But I forget that he was only in his 20s.
Yeah.
He was
He was a
25 when it
a
happened.
baby.
Right.
Yeah.
It boggles my mind because I don't remember him being as young as he was, but
Mhm.
then to get that reminder that, oh my God, he didn't even live to see 30.
No.
Mhm.
We got some songs coming in, y'all.
Okay.
So
Keeping
Stevie
your head
said,
up.
"Toss it up."
Hey. Two.
And then we have Stephen April Coleman said, "Keep your head up."
Okay.
Mhm.
That was a good one.
Mhm.
That's a good feel good song.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Okay.
Let's see
So
what
what do y'all think about them reopening his case?
Thiesman said, "Wasn't the biggest fan. I was kind of young, but me and my girlfriend."
Mm. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. because all I need in this life is sin.
Uh, Danielle Harris Gillespie said, "How do you want it?" Oh, I love that one too.
Yeah.
How do you? Okay, let me come back. California
Okay.
Love.
That's my
Oh,
mama's
man.
favorite.
And she also said, "I ain't mad at you."
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
Man,
See,
with this
look, he
list is
had
going.
hits.
I know this list is
You
going to go on
forget.
and on.
You
Mhm.
forget.
He has
Yeah.
a good. He has a pretty large catalog
Oh, yeah.
of. I'm just talking about the release stuff,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
a good one. You know,
For it to have been such a short-lived career as well.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mrs. Strick says, "Little bro says Hail Mary."
That's a good one too.
Yes. Okay. Did we get any on TikTok?
Not yet.
Okay.
Y'all don't forget to comment because y'all in the discourse too. We want y'all. Unless my live is running slow and I can't see what's going on over there.
No, I think people just coming in over there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if we know more, we'll definitely continue to add to that on our different lives and things like that. But I know for all of the people who
Mm-hmm.
loved him and the music, wanted to kind of get that out there.
Yeah. I think one of the other things that was shocking about his passing was for me, this was the first time I saw that someone could pass from like beef.
Mm.
You
Yeah.
know, I didn't grow up in, that type of environment where I saw that type of activity, where people could, potentially lose their life,
Mm-hmm.
over squabbles or disagreements and things like that. So I think for me, this was one of the first times it was like, oh my gosh, like you could lose your life over words.
Yeah.
And like that whole idea of, you know, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me is not really true.
Mm-hmm.
At all. All of it can.
Yeah.
Trishana Gales says, "I get around. Judge your mama, not me. LOL." Lord, help us.
She always come through with jokes. I love
Yes.
it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, I grew up in Memphis, so
Mm.
I knew you could lose your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we have a new story that is kind of still developing, but just based off of the topic selection that we chose for this session, we were like, okay, yeah, we need to touch on this just a little bit. So for those of y'all that don't know, there recently was an unaliving of
Mm-hmm.
a girlfriend, and it is in Lagos, Nigeria, and it is Killer Boy is the alleged perpetrator in this unaliving of Austa. She's a social media influencer and model, and he is I believe a punter, also a rapper and some other things. But this story is still developing, and what we do know is that they had been having some sort of disagreement or argument where the family members had tried to step in and kind of dissolve things, and they, I guess, later took it back to her not hotel, her apartment, and he alleges that he accidentally stabbed her
Mm-hmm.
and was fearful and ran off. But the body was not found until much later, and had already started to deteriorate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think my first question is how you like I can understand like how you accidentally like
Pew pew.
Kind of go into a rage and crime of passion is a real thing, right?
Yeah.
There are extenuating circumstances. This is not a justification for anybody engaging in violent behavior. However, you can give a reason without giving a justification or an explanation without a justification. So I can see how a person can fly into a rage or, a passionate moment and end up hurting another person.
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't
then to then
think
go
I
on
don't think
social media and
well, I don't understand how you accidentally stab someone. I can see how you can accidentally like pull the trigger, but not stab because you got to walk up on them.
Mhm.
Like unless she ran into him and he was holding a knife, like that's an accident to me.
Yeah.
But then
I don't think any of it is an accident. I
Mhm.
think it's a difference between something being an accident and something being unintentional.
That.
And I think he did not intend
Mm-hmm.
to take her out of this world, but that is what he did. These are alleged, but he is also currently online saying these things.
Mm-hmm.
He's been kind of held up in his own home. He states that he's been in a state of depression and wanting to no longer be here and feeling sad, guilt, sadness, excuse me, about what he's done because she was his everything. So you can see that he's devolving, and you can definitely tell that she did mean something to him, but at the
Mhm.
end of the day, this kind of goes back to what we've talked about before. Not being able to emotionally regulate yourself can definitely lead you down some horrible pathways,
Yep.
because now you have to live with this for the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
Because I can't imagine,
Mm.
like, I can understand him being in his home,
Mm-hmm.
deteriorating, because if
Once
you think
reality
about,
sets
yeah,
in.
I'm assuming maybe y'all was in some sort of heated argument, and your adrenaline is high. And so once your adrenaline is up there, if you don't know how to emotionally regulate yourself, yeah, of course you can do all kinds of things. And now once you start settling down and it's coming down, now you start thinking about, what did I just do?
Mm-hmm.
One, I'm getting ready to go to prison for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So I can understand you being depressed and
Yeah.
not wanting to
And he's
stay
a
alive.
millionaire. And I think he's like 25, 26.
Oh, so young.
Man,
His life is done.
Mm-hmm.
that's sad.
Yeah.
That hurts my heart.
And this is one of the reasons why we love doing what we do, because helping people learn how to like emotionally express themselves,
Yeah.
especially if they're going through something, they're going
Mhm.
something through something with a partner. Like, it is essential to learn how to use emotional language, communicate about what you're feeling, what you're thinking, your expectations, your needs,
Mhm.
your hopes, your desires, your fears, all of that stuff. Because if you don't know how to communicate that effectively, and then on the other person, the receiving end, if you don't know how to receive it, then you and that person are going to be caught up in a really difficult situation, and your relationship is going to likely be like an uphill climb, because you're just not getting it.
Yeah.
It's like we're speaking two different languages.
And then I think the other thing that he has to come to realization about is that's on the inside of you.
Mhm.
Expand.
You went into whatever happened, you went into a rage.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Mhm.
We all have good, bad, and ugly, and
Mm-hmm.
we all tap into something more than the other.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even though he may not have tapped into, I would say, ugly all the time, this one time you did. So
Yeah.
that's on the inside of you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that could be on the inside of all of us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. If you think about the movie the Joker, right?
Mhm.
This particular line wasn't in this film, but it was in one of the animated films, that we're all just one bad day
Mhm.
away.
Mm.
So when you think about, you're just one or it's one, I think it's one bad day. Whoever's into DC, please let me know if I'm butchering that. But, it could really be the flip of a switch. That whole idea, one day you're here, next day you're gone. Like, in a split second, your life really can change for the better
Mhm.
or for the worse.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you just don't know. And in his case, it sounds like, this was one of those, I just didn't know. And my life is now, again, the trajectory that I'm on is going to be one of confinement
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
rest of my life off of one bad day.
Yeah. I think it's just another example of learning to effectively communicate and realizing being right is not the goal when you're in a
Mhm.
relationship. Being
Mhm.
able to communicate, being able to express yourself, those are the goals. And also to gain understanding from
Mhm.
your partner. Because if that's not what you want to do, why are you with the person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? And, we don't know what was going on in that situation. We don't know if she did something. That's not the important part. Because I know there'll be people later on when this posts everywhere, they try to be, well, we don't know what. There ain't no excuse for hurting people like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
People have to, I'm sorry, go ahead.
you're right.
No, I just think people have to learn how to communicate better and effectively. Because a lot of times arguments develop because someone, either one, doesn't feel like they're being heard, or they don't feel like they're being validated, and or they're not explaining themselves well enough for
Mhm.
them to be heard or
Mhm.
validated.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I definitely send prayers out to her family, his family, all their followers and
Yeah.
influencer and sports
And
fans and
him,
stuff. Yeah.
like, if he's locked up, isolated in his house, he's alone with his own thoughts.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's the worst place to be.
And he is in a
Yeah.
spiral.
Yes.
Mhm. Clearly.
So if anyone that sees this knows him, like, get him out of the house. He needs to go and start seeing a therapist. I don't know how long, whatever is going to
I
happen.
mean, it'll likely be.
Well, in there, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying you still need to
But
talk to
they but
somebody.
they do
They do have
exist.
therapists.
They
Yeah.
have therapists in.
They have psychologists.
Mhm.
They do. They do.
Mm.
So yeah. So this has just happened. So this will be another one of those ongoing stories that is developing.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, which leads us
To another developing
to
story.
another developing story that
Oh my
has turned
gosh.
into hotmess.com. And that is the story of the abduction of Carlee Russell.
Oh my goodness.
I
This
don't
is
even know
one.
what to say.
Yeah, I feel hoodwinked
And bamboozled.
And slapped on both cheeks. Face.
because
For
yeah, because initially, I mean, this was a story that completely tugs at the heartstrings.
Yes.
You know, the anyone that knows anything about human trafficking and how prevalent that's become, there's a real fear that sets in about just being alone,
Mhm.
in your vehicle, walking to the store,
Yeah.
going, just being in public, and
And
to
being a Black woman and being
that
important enough for people to search for us.
And trafficking is high here in Texas.
Mhm.
So
woo, we have to get continuing education
Yes.
specifically for human trafficking.
And have to have the signs to prove it.
mhm.
Yes. So it is real, and it feels so discouraging, disheartening, disillusioning to, again, this is developing. So based off the information we have as of right now, that this was another Jesse Smollett, however you say this man's name. This
Jussie
Jesse,
Smollett.
Juicy, whatever. Um this is another one of those kind of situations.
At least that's what it looks like right now.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
I know today that they had a press conference
Mhm.
Mhm.
and they talked about the fact that they went through her search engine and they discovered a lot of the things that she was searching was related to
Yeah.
abductions and other things of that nature. Her story that she told them seems very far-fetched at
Mhm.
this time. We don't know because we weren't there. Uh, Also, just some other allegations are coming forward about, who she was and kind of how she handled different things like breakups and things of that nature. So
Mhm.
this is going to be a hard pill for the community to swallow. This is going to be a hard pill for people of color to swallow. This is going to be a hard pill for women to swallow because all of these communities that she touches has an issue
Mhm.
with abductions.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, because we're therapists, we don't want people to think that we're being insensitive to her situation. We all work with trauma. So we
Mhm.
Yeah.
definitely understand the sensitivity of this. And if the story turns out to be that she really was abducted, and everything that happened to her from her story, we definitely suggest, of course, that she gets the help that she needs. We are definitely not wanting to put out the message that we don't understand or we're not sensitive to the situation, because
Mhm.
we are sensitive to the situation, but from the information that is out now, allegedly, um it just it's not adding up.
Mhm.
No, no. And it's sad. It's sad on multiple parts because as a therapist, I can see she was struggling with something.
Mhm.
Now I'm not gonna analyze her, but I can see that she was struggling with something and she did not get the help she needed or the accountability
Mhm.
that she needed. And then you have her family. You have, other families that are connected to hers.
Mhm.
You have us as the
Public.
public that's watching this, and y'all know if black people don't do nothing else, we gonna rally together for something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that it leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah.
It really does. And this is one of the reasons why people say it makes it harder for the next person.
Yeah.
It shouldn't, because this is an individual isolated case. But unfortunately, while we as Black people know that we are not a monolith, unfortunately, the outside world does not see us that way.
Mm-hmm.
We are seen as a monolith. So, it's unfortunate that if one of us does something and messes up, it it is a representation of us as a collective. And while I hate that, because I agree with you, she was obviously going through something. What that was, who knows?
Yeah.
But it does now taint the next, situation that comes to
Mhm.
pass, because she's one of the first, if not only, Black women that went missing to get
This
like
type of coverage.
mainstream
And
coverage, just
quickly.
not
Yeah.
quickly, not just Black stream coverage.
Yeah. And honestly, when this first broke, I was like, this is a great step in the right direction. My
Mhm.
mind automatically, and this is no shade to the Black community or whatever,
Mhm.
but it automatically goes to the tons of Native American women that are missing and
Oh, yeah.
children. That is a extremely
Mhm.
underserved population.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, we're starting to rally the troops, and now I'm like, we
Mhm.
went backwards.
And
Yeah.
the thing about it is, I hate that because this happened, this can now take us back. Like
Yeah.
it's sad that we even have to fear that.
Say that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Fear and say that,
Mhm.
because it shouldn't be we take steps back. When people are missing, we're human. Find them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Well, we got some comments flowing in. Trishana says there are just so many implications and fallout. If this isn't real, that's what will be harmful for those in real danger.
Mhm.
Dante commenting previously, Juicy Smollett, that French actor from Empire, LOL. Mama Pena said, whatever the outcome is, she needs help.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And then Thiesman says, struggling with the truth, but you ain't hear that from me. LOL. Yeah. And I think I know we were briefly talking about it earlier. Her parents did break their silence, but they really weren't saying a lot either. We don't know really
Mhm.
what was going on. They said that she did struggle. Now we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of information to really go off of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why when people are, because I don't know if this young lady was hurting, but we do know
Mhm.
or think that something was going on. So my thing is, if you're hurting, that's why we do what we do with this
Mhm.
podcast. Because if you're hurting, you need to know that there's some people out, a group of people, a profession of people out here that can provide the help that you need. But the
Mhm.
thing about it is, we have to get out of our own heads and make sure we know that it's safe you have to find the right person to feel safe. But
Yes.
it's
Mhm.
safe for you to talk to mental health providers, because you can't just be hurt. People do hurtful things.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And like Trishana said, this is going to be harmful for the community
Mhm.
if this turns out to be false.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You need a support system around you because life is hard. Um, there's a lot going on in the world right now. There's a lot of things that we are battling.
Yeah.
That we really haven't seen happen all at the same time in a while,
Yeah.
as far as history goes. So people are struggling with things that you would normally be like, okay, that's not a big deal, but no, it is a big deal.
And the thing
Yeah.
about it is, she was in nursing school. So
That's
we
done.
well, yeah. But we also know how difficult school can be.
Yeah. You can
And
have stress.
yeah,
I'm not going to go as far and say is this young lady had a psychotic break because we
We
don't
don't know.
have
right.
that kind of information to make that kind of a statement. But stress, anybody that's ever been stressed out knows that it will affect you in ways that you can't even imagine.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this ad nauseum over the last few years,
Yeah.
in that stress will, it affects your sleep, your eating habits, your libido, your
Decision making skills.
decision making,
Everything.
your response time,
Mm-hmm.
your reaction level, the intensity at which you react to things. Like it, and the longer stress sits there, you know, you can develop something called general adaptive syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where your baseline for stress just keeps increasing over time. Because if I don't have a way to bring my stress back down to my previous baseline, then this one becomes my new one. So now I have to experience things that are even more stressful for me to feel stressed. And then I just keep going up, going up, going up, going up until at some point your body is only going to be able to handle so much.
You're gonna break.
Because if you don't deal with it, it's going to deal with you. And then
Implode or explode.
you don't want your
Yep.
body dealing with you. Trust.
No, because it'll break you down.
Yep.
How you crying in the shower.
And we've talked to specifically our Black women clients about this a lot,
Mhm.
in that you see, us later in life, and we have a lot of chronic health issues, diabetes, high cholesterol, high blood pressure,
Mhm.
chronic pain. That some of these things, of course, not all, but some of these things are related to emotional stuffing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And just having to put on a face and just function in the world.
Yeah. It goes back to what we've talked about several times on the podcast, where you really have to have some awareness of where you are sitting yourself at. Are you, what stage of life? Are you at a place of um, struggling?
Mhm.
Are you at a place of existing, living, or thriving? Of course, we want to all self actualize and get to a place of thriving.
Yeah.
But the reality is, many Black and brown people sit in struggle and existing.
Yeah.
And we never get to a place of living and thriving.
Yeah.
Or if we do, it's still very limited. And we know that there's some history, some historical things behind that. But at some point we have to be like, okay, now I'm good. Let me let me do something else. Let me pivot, even if you don't know exactly what that is.
But for some people, there's a fear around being good, right?
Mm.
I
Mm.
was listening to a snippet from Brene Brown, and she said one of the most dangerous feelings to feel is joy. And because it can be a short-lived feeling, right? Like there's such a, like, can I hold on to it?
Yeah.
Is it gonna last? Is this even real? Is this joy that I'm actually experiencing? So I think there's a comfort in, I understand struggle, I understand existing. And once I experience a level of joy or bliss or peace or whatever, I don't know how to live or be within that. I've talked with a couple of clients before in the past about, some people find peace in chaos and chaos in peace, because I just don't know how to be still. So then when I am, it becomes, internally, like, distressing for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have the capacity to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We have another comment from Trish. She says she will need so much help and support regardless. Can you imagine if she is telling the truth and is being gaslit by an entire nation of folks saying it didn't really happen? Equally terrifying and damaging. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just at this
Honestly,
point.
I wish they would have just not talked about it until the investigation was over, because I do agree, like, everybody's jumping on this bandwagon of it may not have happened, but then still
Yeah.
trying to be sensitive to the fact that it could be happening.
Yeah.
But still, she's still hearing the it may not have happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people don't understand how to discuss topics without immediately picking a side and it becomes a witch hunt. Just
Mm-hmm.
talk about the facts that you know.
Yeah.
And in our next topic, which is also our final topic, we'll get more into that. But a lot of times people jump on these bandwagons of having to publicly shame or do all. She don't need you to do that.
Right.
That's not your responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Mind your business.
Mhm.
Because if your business was public, what would that look like?
Right.
Scary.
You know? And that's, I'm not trying to come across harsh or anything, but sometimes we need a wake up call. People have all this judgment about everything else versus like, okay, let's talk about what's going on. Okay, what do you think happened? Or how is this unfolding? Or this and that. Okay, well, how do we work on not getting to places like that? Because it is very, very easy to go from I'm completely okay to I'm wrapped up in the psych ward somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Our
Oh, yeah.
minds have a level of fragility.
Mhm.
Yes, it is very strong, but we do not utilize the system of our body or the systems of our body in proper ways to be able to maintain that.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm,
It's
you're
a
making
lot.
me upset.
Uh-oh, we about to see a passionate Dr. Wall coming out of here.
You know, it just like y'all know I got a soft spot for people struggling. Also being held accountable because all of my clients know I will therapeutically love on you, but I will therapeutically tap that butt too. Like we don't play we don't
Yeah.
play those games
Yeah.
here.
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody is coming to save you
Yeah.
but you.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm gonna watch you struggle, but you got to do is look over to the side and I'm right there. You got this. Keep
Mm-hmm.
on going. I'm right beside you.
Yep.
Send me an email if you need something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's another reason why it's so important to really vet your providers that you're picking
Oh
up
my
Yes.
because you
goodness.
want
Yeah.
people who match you.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna be everybody's cup of tea. You know, Dr. Jones Hines is not everybody's cup of tea. Dr. Strickland is not everybody's cup of tea. You find the person that
Mm-hmm.
works for you.
Yeah.
And I tell my clients that when I have my intake, a part of my speech is at the end of the session, we're gonna decide if we're a good match for each other because I
Mhm.
know I'm not everybody's taste. So if you feel like I'm a good fit for you and I feel like you're a good fit for me, we'll schedule some more appointments. If not, I'll give you a referral and you can continue your journey on trying to find a
Yes.
therapist. Because I'm
Same,
not trying to
same.
hold people hostage.
Same.
Mm-mm.
That's one of the first things that I say.
Mhm.
You're not mine.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I don't own you.
No, I'm here as your support system. That's it.
Yeah. One of
I'm not
the
your friend either.
That
just
part.
kind of piggybacking on that.
Yeah.
That's one of the first things that I tell clients in after kind of that
Mhm.
is that, I'm a pretty direct therapist. I don't beat around the bush. I'm not about to sugarcoat with you. I'm not going to come in here like and emotionally try to tear you down because I'm not, about that life either.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I am going to be straight up with you and I'm not going
Mhm.
to just come in here and cheerlead you the whole time. Like you're coming to me for a reason
Yeah.
And we gonna fix that reason.
and we going to do that reason
Yeah.
until you tell me otherwise or
Mhm.
until we achieve whatever the goal is that we're trying to
Mhm.
achieve. So as long as you working, then I'm gonna go hard in the paint and we gonna do what we got to do.
All of that.
Exactly. Exactly. We have some more comments coming in. Mama Pena says stress also causes, I'm gonna say this word, aphthos, mouth ulcers caused by too much stress and lack of sleep. Thank you for dropping that information on us, dental hygienists. Come on. Come on.
Look, we need the extra
Oh
We
yeah.
do.
because
Because we need to
sometimes
know.
again the body just you don't want it dealing with you.
Yep.
And it sometimes it really is a wake up call when you start experiencing like certain physical ailments or things kind of
Mhm.
popping up and you didn't know. Your face
Yes.
start breaking out, you having migraines, all kinds of stuff. And stress.
My
Mhm.
favorite thing is when a client comes in to the session, they be like, "Oh, this popped up." So you ain't gonna go to the doctor. You just gonna stress yourself out and your body out. You're not gonna do
Yeah.
nothing mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or physically.
Right.
What you want me to do with that?
Mhm.
And they be looking at me, Dr. Wall. Don't Dr. Wall me. You knew you was wrong when you stepped up in here
Mhm,
and
mhm.
sat on that green couch. Get it together. Okay. We have some
Yes.
more coming in. Dominic Green, hey cousin. Nobody is gonna save you but you. A whole word.
Mm-hmm.
She also states, my therapist is a saint, but she stay on my neck and I absolutely love and need it. Love that black woman.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah, you
Mm.
need it. You need it.
Yeah, my clients be sending me videos. This is what you be doing to me.
Man, same. I'd be
Mhm.
like, I do. I do that.
Oh yeah. I think one of the like compliments that we get is when a client's like, "So I was about to do XYZ and I
your
heard you
voice.
in my head and I knew exactly what you were gonna say." And I'd be like, "Well, tell me then. What was I about to say?"
You
And then
was
they
gonna
say,
say.
and I'd be like, "Well, damn, you
You
right.
right.
You
Yeah.
You right. I would have said that."
I usually tell my addicts, I want my voice to be so much in your head that even if you decided to try and get high or drunk, my voice is gonna F your high or drunk
The
up
whole time.
the whole time. And you're gonna be like, "Yeah, forget it. I just can't do it."
Yep.
All right, that's what I wanted you to do anyway.
Mhm, mhm.
Sober life.
One of my younger clients, now an adult, back when I used to see kids, I don't see kids no more, don't get no ideas, nobody, told me that they made themselves a "what would Dr. Wall say" bracelet. And I was like, did it help you? And they were like, it did. It did.
Okay,
I was like, okay,
Good.
whatever worked for you.
Good.
Because don't
Good.
come in here talking about X, Y, and Z and you know you're supposed to do A, B, C. Because
That
Mm-hmm.
part.
we going to have a conversation and you're going to be upset. And I'm going to be like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you're upset. What I care about is, are you healthy?
Yep.
Yes. Are you healing?
Exactly. Exactly.
I love all that.
Mm-hmm.
I love all of it.
Yeah. So talk about
Hmm.
folks that ain't healed and be in people business they not supposed to be in, the cheeks that we're seeing across the internet. Okay. Our next topic is Keke Palmer and her, we don't know if they've officially broken up, but we're assuming that they have broken up. Boyfriend, ex-boyfriend Darius Jackson, and the whole debacle about her dress and attire and her
Mm-hmm.
role as a mother
Yeah.
at the Usher concert.
Sidebar, I wish y'all could peep the fullness of my fit because it is very
Keke
Keke
Palmer.
Palmer.
She got them buns out.
Yes, I wish I could check the whole fit, but we got to be not PG, we got to be G rated.
First of all, I'm not supposed to have your husband talking about y'all let her. I didn't let her do
Yeah.
anything because she's an adult.
Mhm. But he was like, I know. Well, he at least know where Dr. Jones lives. Be like over
Yeah.
there, Lafanya.
What in the world?
Uh-huh.
That's all right. You can wear it tonight.
Can.
So, what have been y'all's thoughts about this situation since we are a little bit removed from it initially happening? I guess
Yeah.
we should probably tell the interns exactly what went on as well.
Yeah. So she was so Usher apparently has a residency, I believe, in Vegas, and
Mhm.
part of his show is serenading. I'm
The
not sure
audience.
if it's just the audience or if it's
The audience.
It's
It's,
the
it's
audience.
been a
Because
variety.
yeah,
It's
it's
been a
been a
variety.
variety of
Okay.
people he's serenading.
So serenading individuals in the audience, and he chose Keke Palmer for this particular day, and
Mhm.
she had on, it had a little sheer to it, but she had on, appropriately covering
She had on her mesh.
undergarments underneath,
Mhm.
and a little cheeky. It was a little cheeky set.
Little cheeks.
And she was acting like a fan. She was hugging him, singing along with him, and doing things that fans typically do when they meet a celebrity. I think one of the unfortunate pieces is just because she is a fellow celebrity doesn't mean that she is not a fan.
Right. And just because she's a mother doesn't mean she's not a fan.
Mm-hmm.
She was probably a fan before she became a mother.
And my thought about all of this was, what is the likelihood that he did not see this outfit before she left the house? or she didn't talk to him about this outfit. Cause if I got something planned and I want to go somewhere, I'm telling my husband, I'm like, I'm trying it on, and I'm like,
Mhm.
hey,
How I
so
look? What did it look
what
like?
should what I'm not gonna ask the do I look fat question, but I'm like, like, what you think? Do this look?
Yeah.
Do I look good? Do it look shapely? Like, am I looking
Yeah.
whatever? I'm asking questions.
Yeah. I made a TikTok video about it,
I
and
did
I
too.
wasn't talking about specifically them, but I was talking more so about practicing non-attachment. And a lot of the individuals that were negatively commenting about her, because they can't say nothing about me because they don't know me, but negatively to commenting about her, they were talking about all sorts of things that we didn't know whether that was factual or not factual. And I said, just going off of what they have shared with us, what they have discussed about how they handle stuff in-house in privacy, what they believe about body image and her showing her body. Keke Palmer, out of the majority of child stars, has consistently been Keke Palmer.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
She one of the few.
Yeah.
Her, Rudy Huxtable. I know that's not her name, but my mind.
Keisha
Keisha.
Knight.
Keisha Knight, Pulliam, them the only ones popping up in my head right now
Raven
because
Simone. Did you
Raven
say Raven?
Raven Simone. Yeah. So there's very few people
Mm-hmm.
who you see that are themselves. Now that don't mean they don't got to go back and apologize and correct some things and do all of that. But when I saw all of this come up, I was like, y'all, what were y'all wanting her to do? Not be who she's always shown us she is,
Right.
you know?
Well, and I did a TikTok on it as well, and my point of view was coming from a mother.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she has been in this house probably
Mhm.
with this 4 month old,
Mm-hmm.
and has been wearing clothes that the baby can mess up.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
the one, and now granted, I don't know this woman's life, so she maybe she has been out of the house. Who knows? But probably not, because most mothers stay in the house with their baby for a couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When they fresh.
Yeah, I think
Right.
she waited 3 months before she
Mhm.
started doing all of her public stuff
Yeah.
versus being
Mhm.
in the studio at home or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
But still, like, to get out, get your hair done, get your makeup done, put on your black dress, your sexy black dress, your get 'em
Put 'em
girl
get
dress, you
mm-hmm.
know,
Put your freakum dress
right?
on.
And
Every
to
woman got
to
one.
go out and have Usher to serenade you. Come,
And you got to hear her singing.
yes,
Yeah.
And she was with her girls.
right,
I don't know about you, but I know if I go out with my girls, we are on Death Con 5. I
right.
wish you
Dude,
would step over this line.
if you would have seen me when we went to trap karaoke
All of us.
and Mo City Dawn freestyle came on, like that was like I was ready. Like, come on now.
Yes.
Right.
Like,
But like, she had an opportunity to do something for herself and not think about the baby, not think. And I I was talking to my husband about this, and he said, "Is that a husband?" I said, "No." I said, "I think that's just a boyfriend."
Mm-hmm.
He ain't got nothing to say. That's the boyfriend.
mhm. But we do have a comment
Oh,
on
We
TikTok.
got a few. Yeah.
okay.
Go
Yeah.
ahead. Go ahead.
And one of the thing from Nikki B, she said, right, he saw it before she went to the show. The attention is what bothered him.
Mm.
Mm.
And I'm
Mm.
inclined to
Okay, Nikki.
agree with Nikki,
Yeah.
again, because if most people, asterisk, if you are partnered with somebody, it's not that you want approval, because let me go ahead and get that out there, you're not seeking approval or permission, but I want to get some sort of validation
Mhm.
or excitement about what I'm excited about wearing,
Yes.
because I've been planning this. I've been wanting to go to Usher for the last 6 months, and I bought my outfit because we got to buy a new outfit if we're going to go do
And
something.
get a new nail set and a pedicure and
Look,
makeup.
and I want to look good, and I'm like, I want to look good. Like,
So
I
I
want the
need my
gaze to be
husband to
there.
say before I walk
Uh,
out of the door, "Baby, you look good."
GAZE. When
Mm-hmm.
I said gaze, not
Oh,
that type of gaze.
Yes. Not the alphabet mafia.
Yes. Let me
Um
clarify that.
so Trish says to publicly criticize your partner is detrimental. She was double cheeked up. Yes. However, it backfired on him in the worst way. He
Mhm.
could have reached out to her directly. Then she also says, not running to the devil's internet machine.
Mhm.
Thiesman says, if Keke was my girl, Usher better be all over her. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Thank you.
And then he also says, all mamas gotta drop it like it's hot sometime. I think, and that's my thing. This girl been on
Because most mamas dropped it like it's hot to become a mama.
exactly. This girl been on Empire or different shows, Star, all them shows. She been on all these types of things, all these types of movies. You see her presence on her social media as well as when she does interviews. Like, she's not going to be one of those individuals you can snuff out. Like, if you can't handle her shine,
right,
then you might want to just go and get in her shadow.
Yeah. But some partners are jealous of their
Yes.
partner.
You
Of
better
that
come ride
shine.
this train with me.
Yeah.
Stop playing.
Yeah. And, I'm not talking about this particular couple. I'm just talking about in general. If you have one individual that tends to, perform better, is more charismatic, is much more successful, and insert all of these. Like, this other person just seems to be do better in some areas than their partner. Some individuals cannot handle that.
That's true.
They
That is
either
very
want
true.
us or them to be on the same level, or I want to outshine you, and the fact that you outshine me, my psyche just can't handle that.
Yeah, I can't be like that personally. I'm one of them people like, you better be you. Did he hug you tight? Did she like that's I'm like,
Look,
you better go. You better
I'd
get
have
it.
been out there like, can I get in on it too? Can we make this a
whole
a
group
group thing?
serenade.
'Cause
Exactly.
I won't, girls need love too.
I'm just trying to figure out, Usher, can I get on the stage and dance with those dancers? That's
Well,
what I
they
want
have
to do.
sometimes they let you get up there sometimes. I don't
that's-
know if he gonna let you, but
That's what I want to do.
Because that's what I'm wondering. Why was he not at the show?
Because
maybe
she
it was
was with her
girl.
girls.
I think it was
Maybe
girls'
it was
night.
girls'
It was
night.
girls' night.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Never mind. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think it was girls' night, but it was just for me. It was just mind boggling because we had just watched that podcast that she has and them talking about I'm Stevie with it. Like we gonna be in some closet talking about our problems. He was co-signing it, and then a few weeks later, this happens. I'm like, this is not what you co-signed, sir. This is not what you co-signed at all. Oh, and I do have the tweets. I forgot to say that. Let me go and read them. Okay, so he started out with, it's the outfit though, you a mom. And I think everybody assumed he was joking because they do have a very charismatic, playful relationship from what they've shown us.
Right.
But he later was double downing in the comments of other people's tweets and retweets and stuff like that. And then he came back later to say, we live in a generation where a man of the family doesn't want the wife and mother to his children to showcase booty cheeks to please others, and he gets told how much of a hater he is. This is my family and my representation. I have standards and morals to what I believe. I rest my case. The problem with what he's saying is, number one, she's not your wife. Number two, that's not the woman that you got into a relationship with. And there's a level of ownership in his dialogue that states that maybe he got his own things and insecurities that he needs to work through, because at the end of the day, I don't have to claim you in order to be in fellowship with you. It reminds me of something that Lauren London said after Nipsey passed. And she was just talking about the fact that I am supposed to feel the way I feel because you are gone. And a piece of me has died because of our relationship not being able to continue on in the way that we thought it would. But I do not own you. And I was only granted permission to be in your life for a short period of time. And ever since I heard her talk,
the paraphrase, Dr.
yes, ever since I heard her, because that hurt me. When he got gunned down, that hurt me. But ever since I heard her speak about their relationship like that, there's been like this little light bulb that has clicked on, and I'm just like, okay, that makes sense because
Mhm.
we are taught that
Hearing
that's
it, yeah,
that's
Mhm.
mine.
absolutely.
That's we go together or she's mine, and it's like, yes, we understand a level of okay, that's my husband or whatever,
Mhm.
but
But it's more
you
like I share you.
yes,
Mhm.
I share you, not I get to dictate
Mhm.
and direct and diminish and all these other D's. Let my poet come back. That that I get to do. That becomes a very misogynistic and patriarchal view, which essentially is derived from us being colonized for so much. But
Yeah.
it's just, it pisses me off.
Well, to me, it's the I have morals and beliefs implying that she doesn't. Like
Yeah.
just because that's the outfit that she chose to wear that night, it does not mean that she don't have morals and beliefs. And it didn't change just because she has this outfit
No.
on.
And if you had morals and beliefs, then you wouldn't have had sex with her.
Ow.
And you wouldn't have impregnated her before you made her your wife. Do not cherry pick your scripture of your faith or your religion as a deacon's granddaughter. If you going
Oh,
to have
yes.
your spiritual beliefs and only abide by 2 of them, then say that, sir.
I'm drinking air because I ain't got nothing to say to that.
Ooh,
That
sorry,
was
y'all.
good.
And my thing is, I'm not judging him. I feel like you do you,
Mm-hmm.
but don't do you with somebody that don't do you the same way.
Thank you.
Mhm. Yes.
That just don't make no sense to me.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Trisha said, what stood out to me about his slippery back pedal on Birdman's app is the word representation.
Mm.
He just misrepresented his entire family, his desire for his lady, and so many other things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It just, y'all, I just couldn't understand it. And now, what I will say, watching their relationship over the years, I was always like, there's something off about him, but I couldn't tell if it was like he's quirky, maybe he's on the spectrum. This is my therapist mind, or
Right.
maybe he's just goofy because y'all know I love a goofy man. Y'all know that. So I couldn't really put my finger on it, but then to find out as his old tweets resurfaced that he actually is a extreme conservative and has a lot of derogatory tweets that were posted prior to him being in a relationship with Keke Palmer. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to have a traditional for
No,
whatever
not at
that
all.
means.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't even think there's any clear across the
No.
board definition of what traditional is. And not, barefoot in the house. But if you want, if that's what you want, there are women out
Yes,
there
a lot
that
of them.
would love to live that life with you. You just have to
Exactly.
find the woman that wants to live that life with you.
And she's
And
not one.
she's not one, she's a career woman.
Right.
She
Yes.
now has a family or a child, but she is a career woman. So, that in the house, keep me strapped down vibe is just not going to be her. And this is why we say you got to be very careful and take things slow and understand the person that you're going to be with, because you have to. So when I'm talking with my female clients and they're dating, one of the main things that I always say is be observant. Pay attention to your experience of this other person. So if you have this laundry list of things that you want, you say, I want an honest man. Well, honest is not stamped on the front of his head.
Right.
You're not going to know if he's an honest man until you experience him.
Mm-hmm.
So even if he is being honest and you're experiencing honesty, what type of honesty are you getting? Are you getting compassionate, patient, gentle honesty? Or are you getting cutthroat, brutal, hurt your feelings honesty?
Mm-hmm.
You're getting it's two sides of the same coin. So I think that was one of the things he forgot to do is pay attention to his experience of Keke.
And I think she forgot. And I tell my female clients to go through 4 stages: talking, dating, friendship, and then commitment. Because if you go through those stages, it gives you enough time to weed them out.
Yeah.
And get past the representative so that you don't fall in love with
It's
the
clumsy.
representative.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times what people do is they go from talking to commitment,
Mm-hmm.
and you haven't given yourself enough time to learn anything
Yeah.
about
True.
the dishonest. Because like Dr. Strickland just said, honesty is not written on his forehead. So only way you're going to be able to find that out is if you take your time in getting to know them.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I think one of the most important things that I teach my clients is you need to sit back and be your authentic self and observe
Make
what
sure you're
you
not the red flag.
exactly. And then observe how y'all interact, because a lot of times people are trying to put on, it's nothing wrong with being your best self. There's nothing wrong
Mhm.
with that. But also most people cannot maintain their best self for the entirety of their life
Mm-hmm.
because stuff happens,
Yeah.
but also it's important that your eyes are open so that you can see, like, when we interact, do I like what I'm seeing? Do I enjoy those things? And it's okay if you don't. Like, you're dating to get to know the person. You're dating to understand, um, does this work well for me? A lot of people get passion and chemistry confused with compatibility.
Mm.
Those are two very different things. Our chemistry can be off the charts, and we trash together.
Woo. The amount of couples that we have worked with that is a hookup gone too long.
Yes,
Mm.
one night stands at the altar. I just don't
Woo.
understand it.
Lord.
Yeah, those one night cheap stands is a beef.
Them be the hard couples,
Yeah.
boy. If you do couples work, if there's any therapists out there
Yeah.
and watching us, them be the hard one.
Oh man, because it's like because we can't tell them y'all need to get a divorce because y'all this was just a one night cheap stand that went on too long.
So what I ask my couples that are tough ones like that, I say, okay, are you guys like oil and vinegar, or are you oil and water?
Mm.
Because oil and vinegar, if you shake it up, it's gonna mix and it's gonna turn into something that's
It's tasty.
tasty. It makes sense. It works, right? But eventually, it's gonna go back like this.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna separate and go back to they separate, and then you gotta shake it
Yes.
up again, so that we come back together. Or are you oil and water? And it don't matter how much you shake it up. It don't. You can shake, 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 shake to your heart's desire. It ain't gonna never mix and turn out right.
Mm-mm.
So when you think about you can be a passionate couple that has, that bickers and does all the thing. That doesn't always mean that you're unhealthy for one another. So I
No.
need you to think: are y'all oil and vinegar, or y'all oil and water?
And it doesn't mean that you're going to get along all the time.
No.
And your disagreements don't mean that you're not compatible. You just have to y'all have to learn each other. Basically, you
Yeah.
have to learn each other. You have to learn how each other argue. You have to learn how each other communicate, and if that communication style works for you.
Yep.
So look, we got a comment on TikTok. Thank you, Chef Mitchell, for letting us know that oil and water. He said, if you or I can't see the picture, but if you are not careful and it gets heated, it will explode.
Oh,
Mm.
ooh, that's a good
So
one.
thank you for that, because now I'm gonna be
Because now I'm
adding
going to
that
be using
I'm gonna be adding that to my example now.
Exactly.
Stevie says, oh, I already read that one. Hold on. I'm moving too fast and too slow at the same time.
Okay, wait till you get
Thiesman says, at this stage, we are oil and ranch. LOL. Well, oil is in ranch. So does that mean you're enmeshed? Because I don't think that's healthy. Okay. And then we have a question from Megan Brown. She says, what's the difference?
Between
Are you talking about the analogy of oil and water and oil and vinegar, or are you talking about the relationship? Can you comment, Megan, for us? So we can answer appropriately.
You may have already answered it if it was the oil and
oh yeah.
She said yes. The difference between the relationships, both. Okay, so she wants the difference between the relationships and the difference between the analogies. So I guess maybe more in depth.
Okay. So couples that are like oil and vinegar, they're going to still have pretty regular rough patches. So this may be a couple that does bicker a lot, not knock out, drag out fights, but they do kind of get on each other's nerves pretty regularly. But they can come together, they can resolve the issues, and life can move on and go forward. But they are going to consistently have things that they kind of always come back to, and
It's
have
like two signs that you, if you're into astrology, two signs they're not supposed to be together.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So, there are going to be, there's just going to be stuff that's going on between them pretty consistently. In the beginning, they may be the makeup to breakup couple. And it's like, okay, y'all together? Okay. But somehow they seem to make it work.
Mhm.
And then,
Yeah.
they are married for 30, 40, 50 years and they become this old crotchety couple that,
Crotch.
Gertrude, get off the couch.
yes, and people are
Shut
like,
up!
oh
I
my,
can sit on the couch if I want to.
Mhm.
All right, well, I'm gonna
that,
come in there with you.
that,
I love you.
this
Mhm.
right here. Think George Jefferson and Wheezy,
Oh yeah.
you know,
Yes, very much that.
that's a visual for an oil and vinegar couple. Somehow they seem to work.
Mm-hmm.
Oil and water are, because these are two, compounds that are not designed to go together. They can try as much as they want to, but they're just not compatible, and the relationship it's really doomed to fail. And it kind of
It is. It can be explosive.
and it can be explosive, absolutely, because the arguments are likely going to be bigger, the needs are going to be vastly different. There's a lack of compromise and
Mhm.
understanding, lack of validation, lack of appreciation, and different wants, different needs, different expectations. And we just have they do not want or can't find a way to be able to get along and understand where each other's coming from so that they can figure out a workable solution.
Yeah.
The thing with the oil and vinegar couple is they can find workable solutions. They
Mhm.
may be temporary because, again, we're gonna separate a little bit and then we'll come back together.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
She has another question.
Sure.
She asks, when would you draw the line when lines should be together? So I'm assuming she's just saying, when would you draw the line in relationships like the oil and vinegar?
So I think the oil and water,
Mm-hmm.
I'll that one is easier to draw the line because sometimes that can end up in aggressive verbal arguments and or physical aggression,
Mm-hmm.
and that of course is the drawing the line. And then sometimes even with oil and water, oil and water, um it's almost like y'all hate each other even if y'all are not aggressive with each other.
Mhm.
It's almost like you hate each other, so it's so uncomfortable in the house. I think you have to be mindful of how you feel in this relationship. And
Mhm.
if you've gotten to the point where you're that uncomfortable in a relationship to the fact that you don't want to come home like ever, like it's not one of those situations where like, oh, I just don't feel like I know I got to cook, or I know we got to finish this discussion, or no, it's not that. It's like, oh, I can't stand him. I cannot. I'm just rather stay in a hotel. Like if it's that type of situation and you just don't want to be around that person, it's time to go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't have summed it up better myself.
Yeah, I think the difference is with oil and vinegar, like Dr. Strickland said, there are typically opportunities for solution and they are implemented. So this type of couple can continue to grow together and develop their partnership. If not, then yeah, they do end up being an oil and water relationship.
Mm.
So there has to be some growth, there have to be some understanding, but it probably will be a little bit harder than maybe, other types of relationship, but that doesn't mean that it's necessarily toxic.
Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
think if you don't see the growth,
Yeah.
if so say for instance, you got married and you were 30, he was 33. And now y'all are 40 and he's 43 and he's still acting like he was 33 and you are acting like you are 45. Yeah, there's no growth.
Yeah. She says it's a mutual relationship, but it's a slide of the mouth. It can be. It can be.
Mm-hmm.
Um Dominique Green says that's spot on. So I think you just have to know what your parameters are that you can work within.
Yeah.
A lot of times people push themselves past their own boundaries and parameters and preferences and all this other kind of stuff because they want to be chose so bad. They want to have a relationship so bad, because that is society standards. And there's nothing wrong with wanting a partner, but you have to make sure that you're not giving up yourself. It reminds me of For Color Girls and Loretta Devine's poem that she says, "You almost walked away with me.
Mm.
Give me back myself and get on somewhere." That's how I look at it. You can't sacrifice you. I'm pretty sure that was not the purpose for you being on this planet.
Yeah, and you have to be okay with shaking up your what you think is stability. You can be stable by yourself. You just have to create a plan and have a goal on how you're gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Megan said, from her own relationship, he introduced me as a woman that don't need no man. So that's a conversation that y'all need to have. You need to discern whether or not you are the problem or he is the problem or both of you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think there is something that you are bringing up in him that is causing something to come up, whether it's an insecurity, whether it's a red flag for him, or you could just be doing something toxic too. We don't know. We don't have the specifics, so we can't really um advise you further than that. But I would just say sit down and talk. And if y'all can't talk, that's probably another
Mm-hmm.
indication.
And you have to determine if you see that as a compliment. Because
Yeah.
some women see that,
Yeah.
oh, she don't need no man as a compliment.
She got her own.
Yeah. They go through that philosophy. They go through the philosophy of like, I don't need, but I want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It just depends. I don't
Mhm.
know how he was saying that to you. I'm assuming some of this information. So just sit down and talk to him. Write down your thoughts first before you have the conversation. But yeah, that's what I would recommend.
Mm-hmm.
Thiesman says, grown men out here maturing backwards. Sir, you ain't Benjamin Button. Cut that out.
Love it.
And Megan did say, I just want one. I don't need one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I think we've talked about the fact that we're seeing a decline in men's health, emotional and mental health.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that everybody, but there is a decline in that. And so you really have to, if you are someone who dates men, you have to find the ones that are willing to work on themselves as well as a
Mhm.
relationship.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure I date men, so I can't really talk about dating women, but a lot of my male clients, they say some of the same things. So it is some across the board, but the decline is a little bit more steep in men than it is in women currently, according to statistics.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hey, y'all been coming out. Y'all coming out with the
Yes.
conversation today. I love
Yes.
it.
Megan said, "Ladies love the green." By the way, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
We typically wear one of the colors that represents the year that we are in. So green and white were the colors for the third year. So
Yeah. And we tried to coordinate.
coordinate. Now green is my color, my hair green, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, yes.
Okay.
Y'all let us know if y'all have any other questions,
Mhm.
comments,
Yeah.
you know, things like that.
Like we said earlier, you don't get access to 3 mental health professionals for free.
Nope.
The free 99.
we are forced to be reckoned with together.
Mm-hmm. We
Yes.
really are.
Mm-hmm.
Just a toot.
Mm-hmm.
I got a compliment. Hold on. Come on, words of affirmation. Mr. Woolman said, "Babe, you looking good with 3 blue hearts."
We love it.
So sweet.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Megan says, "Nah, y'all a force." Oh, thank
Aw,
you.
Thank you.
Come on,
Thank you so
little
much.
Come on, words of
intern.
affirmation.
Yes.
Look.
I'm a stickler for it. Talk to me nice, or don't talk to me at all.
Because if you believe in astrological signs, I am an Aries through and through. So
So if y'all are into that, Cancer on the end,
Me.
Aries, Scorpio. So yes, it's a lot going on
Yeah.
on this
Mhm.
A true
podcast.
fire sign.
Um, Thiesman says, "Y'all nasty."
I know, all on the live.
Myself is nasty.
Go get a virtual room in the metaverse.
No. Amazing job, ladies, is what he said as well. Megan says, I'm about to give up men and switch sides. You know what? That is a very common thing. Probably at least 4 to 5 times a week. I'm having that conversation with
Same.
my clients as
Same.
well as friends and family members.
Mhm.
If you do, you do. Just make sure you're doing it for the right reasons and you are not going to be portraying some of the habits and behaviors that you're running from.
Because truth be told, it's the
Mhm.
same stuff happening over there too.
Yeah, misogyny is in all genders.
Because you
Patriarchy is in
can't
all
run from
genders.
you. If
Nope.
you are the red flag, it don't matter if you're who you're dating. You're gonna be the red flag if you don't work on it.
Mhm.
Joseph Nash, like, okay, Scorp. And then Megan said, I've been playing sides all the time. Okay, okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You do you, just do it healthily.
Yep.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Do your thing, do your thing. Oh, okay, wait a minute. We got another one coming up. Dominic Green says, as a woman coming out of an 18-year relationship and having a mix of both oil, water, vinegar situation, I'm enjoying the wisdom you lovely ladies are giving. Will definitely be listening more often. Thank you.
Welcome.
you.
Welcome to our podcast. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Come be an intern.
Yes.
That's what, for all the new people, that is what we call our followers and listeners.
Yeah.
Megan Brown states, but I've been the ick all this time.
Ooh.
Mm.
I stand a self-aware queen
Come
now.
on now.
Mhm.
That's a good thing. Know yourself so
Because
you
when
can
you
improve it.
when you know more, you can do more.
But
Mhm.
do something about it. Don't stay in the ick because then you'll start going down a rabbit trail.
Yeah, we don't
Mhm.
want that.
No.
Living
Spiraling.
Masterpiece said, I missed y'all. We missed
We
y'all
missed
We missed y'all too.
too.
Look, we even got dressed up, got cute for y'all too.
Exactly.
Oh, she said it, not ick, brick. Okay.
Oh, okay,
Oh.
okay.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you for the correction.
Scratch that last statement.
No, keep it because all of us can go down
Yeah,
a spiral.
Tony Harris says, ladies, this is the first time I have been part of your podcast and I have truly enjoyed it. Y'all are truly doing good things. Thank you so much, Mama
Thank you.
Tony.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For all of y'all in the comments, that is Danielle Harris Gillespie's mom.
Thank you. We
Thank
so
you so
appreciate
We do
the
appreciate that.
compliment.
We are definitely glad to be back. We missed y'all. We had, just honestly, we had some very discouraging times. We were like,
Mhm.
should we continue to podcast, because it was like everything against us. It was like, okay, we're doing everything we're you know how y'all we get.
Yeah.
We're doing everything we're supposed to be doing and nothing's happening. And then you have to be like,
Get it together.
okay, that means we just need to sit down for a minute and we can
Mhm.
come back, and whoever's
Mhm.
going to be for us and for this podcast will
Yep.
be there.
Yeah.
We've always had the mindset that it was going to be a slow and steady build, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Mhm. Trish says the comment about running from yourself and you are the red flag took me out. That's like lighting sage and passing out, because you are the demon. You're the demon and you didn't open the doors, so
Okay.
you couldn't run.
She said I grabbed that selenite, my finger started burning. Like, oh Lord.
Megan said, listen, we all have downfalls. I admit it, we do.
We
We
do.
are
Yes.
human.
Look, even us too. That's one thing I tell my clients too. I say, look, I may not talk about myself a lot in here. I said, but if I disclose something, there's going to be a reason, because I want you to
Yes.
understand there's
Yeah.
another human being sitting in this chair that
Yeah.
has their own traumas, their own stuff, their own things that they've
Yes.
done, their own hurts that they've inflicted on other people.
Mhm.
That we all have something.
Yep.
We've all had moments where we are the trash person.
Yep.
Look,
It's a matter of if you stay the trash person and actually that's who you are, versus, okay, you had one moment or
Mhm.
a moment here and there.
And
Yeah.
and the thing about it is, like we were saying earlier, we all have good, bad, and ugly in us, and we tap into all of them at some point. It's
Mhm.
just a matter of the behavior that comes out of each one of them, and if you can correct it. Like we were talking about earlier, he can't correct his. So, but if you can correct it, correct it.
Yeah, I agree. So y'all, we are coming to a close because we don't want to keep you too long.
And
People gotta go
look,
to
we
work in
got
the
to go to
morning.
work tomorrow. We got like,
We got stuff to
ooh,
do. We didn't
We gotta-
already recorded a
Yes.
other
that
podcast
came
earlier.
out real country too.
It's okay. You can be country.
Oh my God.
Little country. So just so that y'all do have a heads up, because I know that when we do MMB, y'all like to be informed. And since next week it will be live, it is going to be the movie The Reading. It is a new film starring Monique. So this is going to be our first semi scary movie because somebody is definitely afraid of scary movies, but she is our resident horror
Love
specialist.
It's a toe dip, but I'm here for it.
I'm gonna put some obsidian on my body so
Yeah,
I'm protected.
We dabbling. We dabbling. But I'm excited.
Yes, and one last comment: if we don't reflect on ourselves, nothing's going to change. Ladies, I'm stuck on y'all. Oh, thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we also want to say thank you to Chef Mitchell and Nikki B for joining us and commenting, and all the other individuals that are on our TikTok. Welcome. Since this is a new audience for us,
Mhm.
we hope you enjoyed our time, and you guys will also see us a little bit more regularly since we're going to be doing the lives on the third Wednesday. And if there's a fifth Wednesday of the month, we will be also doing our traditional This Broads on the fifth Wednesday of any month.
Yes. All right, we will see y'all next week. Bye.
Bye, y'all. Deuces.
Bye.